Hello everybody. So we're going to do something different today. Well, not that different. It's going to be about Advaita Vedanta, classical Advaita Vedanta. We're going to look at the most important text of the Upanishads. So Advaita Vedanta means Advaita, which is non-dual, and Vedanta, so the end of the Vedas. The Vedas are these very important texts, and the end of the Vedas are the Upanishads, and they are the philosophical part of the Upanishad, part of the Vedas, which talk about basically that you are the ultimate reality. Atman is Brahman. You are Brahman. You are the ultimate reality, and that's basically the teaching. Okay, so I'll show you what I did. I was doing calligraphy a couple of years ago, trying to do. There we go. That's it. That is the Mandukya Upanishad, verse 7 that we're going to look at the top part. So I was practicing calligraphy a few years ago, trying to do Sanskrit calligraphy. I filled a few notebooks trying to teach myself how to read, at least just read, make the sounds of Sanskrit. Now I've forgotten already. But anyway, so I've got that framed in my living room. So we're going to look at this. I put it down here so I can see it in front of me. I'm not sure how good my eyesight is. We'll have a go. Okay, so the idea in the Mandukya Upanishad, so the Mandukya is the most hard line of the Upanishad. Sometimes they leave it to the last to teach because it can throw you off a bit. People can be perfectly happy about their existence until they read the Mandukya. Not really, but it is really quite very, very deep. So we're going to look at the most important part of that Upanishad, the Mandukya, which is verse 7. Right, I'm going to read it in total first, okay? Turīya, actually I should probably say first. So basically, in this Upanishad, is telling us what Turīya is. Turīya means the fourth, and the way it explores this is it looks at waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, and so says that these are three states of the self, and the fourth is basically the consciousness that underlies all of them. It's this pure consciousness. And this is the Atman. This is what you really are. You're not any of those dream states. You are the Turīya, the fourth. But it's not really a fourth. It's just there's 1, 2, 3, and it's the thing that underlies and permeates all of them. Okay, so Turīya is not that which is conscious of the internal world, nor that which is conscious of the external world, nor that which is conscious of both, nor that which is a mass of consciousness. It is not simple consciousness, nor is it unconsciousness. It is unseen, beyond empirical dealings, beyond the grasp of the organs of action, uninferable, unthinkable, and indescribable. It is the essence of the one self, the cessation of all phenomena, tranquil, all blissful, and non-dual. This is what is known as the fourth. This is the Atman, and it is to be realized. So it's saying that this is the purpose of existence. This is the purpose of life, to realize the Atman, to realize your true self. So we're going to break it down now. So it comes in 3 parts. The first part is naming all these different states and saying that you're not any of those states. The second part is saying how we can't talk about it or conceptualize about it or even think about it. Or grasp it or even see it. And the final part is kind of pointing at what it is. Although we already know we can't talk about it, is kind of pointing. Okay, so it begins with that Turīya, or your true self, is not the inward-facing consciousness. So it's not, and it says consciousness, but maybe that's the closest English word. It's not, probably not best to focus on that, but it's not the inward-facing consciousness means that it's not the deep sleep state. And this is easy for us to grasp because in the deep sleep state, I know it seems very real, not deep sleep, in the dream state, it seems very real, but when we think we're the person in the dream state, but when we wake up, we know it's not. That wasn't me. the person in the dream, although I thought it was me, it's not me. That body really wasn't mine, and it was just the whole dream was me, basically. Then the second part says that it's not the outward facing. So the outward facing is basically the waking state. So we're not the waking state either. So this is more difficult because we normally do see ourselves as the person in the waking state. This is who we think we are. I'm this person who's awake. I'm not the person I'm not the person in the dream, really, but I'm definitely the person who's awake here. And then it says, and you're not, but this, it denies it. It says that in the same way that you're not the person in the dream, you're also not, the self is not the one in the waking state. And then it says, nor a combination, or something in between. So that includes hallucinations, psychotic episodes, lucid dreaming, coma, dozing, all of these different states, everything in between, that's not you either. Then it says that you're not the mass of consciousness. And this actually is because how they thought of the deep sleep state. So they saw the deep sleep as being like, I think more or less everything put together. It was the seed state from where the waking world comes from again. So everything's kind of packed up and then it comes out again into the waking state. So it says you're not this indifferentiated mass of consciousness. So, but we see it as, we learn in Advaita Vedanta and non-duality that we are conscious during deep sleep, but we're just not aware. It's an awareness of absence rather than absence of awareness. So the awareness continues, and that dream state, that deep sleep state is not you either. Then it says, you're not simple consciousness. Now, this I've seen described in two different ways. One is just it's kind of the everyday consciousness that we think of. In Advaita Vedanta, they say that our consciousness, we only feel that we're conscious, this feeling of being conscious that we have, is because part of the mind reflects the consciousness back at us. So the reflective consciousness, chivarasana, something like that. And so it reflects it back. So that's what we feel. If you sit in meditation, you think, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm conscious. I think Kashmir Shaivism says that, yeah, you're conscious in yourself, but really you're actually just aware when you feel that consciousness. That's because you're seeing it reflected back at you by part of the mind. So you're not that, you're not this consciousness that we have every day that's kind of attached to objects and emotions and limited. So it's not that simple consciousness. I did, however, see Swami Savrapriyananda explain it as being not the consciousness of God. And I'm not really sure why he interpreted it like that. It's actually just one word. But I don't know. He had a good reason. He studied with so many masters, Advaitam masters. He must have a reason. But there are these both. So he's saying that it's not even the consciousness of an omniscient God. This consciousness that would know everything, it's not that either. And then it's not unconsciousness. So you're not like a rock, unconscious. Then, so that's the first part. Then we go into the second part, which is it is unseen. And when it says unseen, it means unperceived. It's not just your visual ability, your sight, but it's also, it can't be heard, it can't be touched, it can't be none of our senses, including none of our perceptions, including the mind. It can't be an object because it's the subject. So it's that which everything appears to, and it's just pure and it's nothing, because everything that appears to the observer. If there's any change to be seen, it's in the object, not in the observer. The observer is just the knowing, the seer, this eternal subject. Now, it's not perceivable. It's also beyond the grasp of, beyond empirical dealings. So it's got no relations with anything because it's non-dual and it's infinite or limitless, maybe could be a better way to describe it. there can be no interaction between parts of it. So this, I think the Buddhists, they have this idea of dependent origination where everything leans on everything else, like two stacks of hay. But it's not that, because it's indifferentiated. It's just non-dual. There are no parts of it. It's infinite. It's unlimited. And so there's nothing that it can be in relation to. Then it says that beyond the organs of action. So that means you can't pick it up, you can't get it, you can't go on pilgrimage to it, you can't worship it. Then it says it's uninferable. So we use inference in science to basically we use reason, and we do experiments, and then we infer rules. So we infer that something will happen because we've made these experiments with this, and so we infer that it will happen in this way. We make predictions, basically, and it can't be inferred either. It is unthinkable. So you could say maybe unthinkable or incomprehensible. Comprehend, the etymology of comprehend, the root of comprehend is to hold together, to grasp together. So this, when you comprehend something, it's kind of like you understand it because you hold it all together. And this cannot be done with Turiya, with the Atman, because it is infinite and it is non-dual. So there's no way that you can grasp it, comprehend it, think about it. It's also indescribable. So it cannot be described. It's beyond words. There's lots of reasons why it can't be beyond words, why it is beyond words, but you could just go back to the idea that it's the subject, and the subject cannot be described. Only things in the objective world can be described by labeling or by pointing them out. There's various different ways that something can be spoken about, and it doesn't fit into any of those. Right, then it is now it goes on to the bit where it's kind of pointing what it actually is. And it says it is the essence of the one self. So this feeling of I that you have right now, that is what it is. It's you. It's the real you. And it's here. It's not hidden beneath any of these states. It's the you that permeates all the states. Ramana Maharshi, this was his main teaching, follow the I thought, back to realize. And Nisargadatta also, he said that we have to rest in the I am and find out who you are. The same way, going for the I, which cannot be conceived of, thought of, but you can do this Atma Vichara, this self-inquiry to discover it. It can be. Somebody said to Swami Vivekananda, "Oh, so is it unknowable?" And he said, "No, it's more than knowable." So when we know things, that's it's a subject-object relationship, but this is more than that. It's this deep. It is what we actually are. So it is our very selves. Then it says the cessation of all phenomena. So all things disappear into the Atman. All things disappear into this ground of being, come out of and go into this ground of being. All the three universes. What universes? Imagine you're thinking. But we've got the waking universe, the dreaming universe, and the deep sleep universe. These are kind of different universes, because if you eat a pizza in the dream universe, you don't ruin your diet in the waking universe. If you win the lottery in the dream universe, you also don't get rich in the real world, in the waking universe. So all of these have their ground in the ground of being. It is the silence of the universe is another way that people translate this part. Then it says it's tranquil, all blissful and non-dual. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. So this is when we say Shantam, or peace, we're not talking about things that are peaceful. We're talking about peace itself. This peace that passes all understanding. This peace that's beyond thought and beyond conception. The ground of being. This is the peace that you are. It's auspicious. It's all blissful. Shivam. And it is the source of all good. Every time you want anything in the world, whether it's you want to win the lottery, or you want to get a better job, you want to fall in love, or you want a pizza at a popular hamburger restaurant, or a pizza at a popular pizza restaurant, or a hamburger at a popular hamburger restaurant, this desire that you have, thinking this is going to make my life better, that is a mistaken search for the self. That is just a bad distortion of what we really want in life, which is to return to the self. Then it's, yes, of course, non-dual, powerful. So there's no second to you. There's no other reality to you. You are the one without a second. But even in some ways, you're not even one, because one implies two. You are that which is. It says, this is what is known as the fourth. So we've seen that we've got dreams, waking, deep sleep. These are three. And the fourth is Turiya, which is your real self. Now, some people make a mistake and think that it's another state, but it's not. It's that which underlies all the three states. Adi Shankara says that, I think he says this, he said this, that people who are mistaken, fools, think it's the fourth. It's not really the fourth. It's the only thing there. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not counted, but it's known as the fourth. And in fact, later, I think people turned this fourth into something, into an object, and so people get confused, even knowledgeable people about this. But it is not really the fourth. It is the one. It is like you have golden ornaments, and you have, this is a traditional example, you have a bracelet, a necklace, and a ring, and they're made of gold. Now, is the bracelet gold? No, it's not gold. It's made of gold. Is the gold the ring? No, the gold isn't the ring. So, but the gold is what gives value, gives weight to the ornaments. And although they seem different, they are only gold. So, so in the same way, what we truly are, is what everything really is beyond all the name and form of bracelet, necklace, and ring. It is the substance of everything. And then it says, this is the Atman, and this is to be realized. So this is the self. This is what you really are, and this is to be realized. This is the purpose of life. To realize this, because this is what we think we're trying to. When we search for other things in life to make us happy, and we're disappointed, it makes us happy for a while, and then we find something else that we want, and then we get anxious again until we get it. This search is actually search for the self. That's where, when you find the self, you will rest in this peace, in this bliss. This peace that passes under parseth, if you prefer parseth understanding, or passes understanding in modern English. It's this all goodness, the Shivam, and it is non-dual, and that's what you really are. Not something that is conceptual. It is what you really are here now, and we can search for that, as I said before, with self-inquiry. Through jhana yoga, which is what we do here, which is where we study and remove the errors until the truth is revealed. We use thought, of course, we use language, like use a thorn to remove a thorn, and then you throw both thorns away, and you're left with what you really are. So I hope that was interesting. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.